The biggest casualties of the insurgency in the northeast are people who reside in the communities ravaged by insurgency. The terror unleashed by Boko Haram militants has turned women into widows, children into orphans, and whole communities destroyed. This federal lawmaker believes that the level of destruction of communities, which has made thousands of Nigerians refugees in their own country, requires urgent attention of the federal government and the parliament.
The civil notes with dismay the infrastructural damages caused by the Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast zone of the country, especially in Adamawa, Borno, and Yobe states.
Some lawmakers argued that any rehabilitation of the northeast without first winning the insurgency would be a waste of time.
The only surviving uncle I have was beheaded. My younger brother's son was killed, a 4-year-old. My father's house was taken. My house was destroyed. You can't even go to my village because all the bridges are being destroyed. Some by the Boko Haram, some by the military.
There's no country in the world that rehabilitates a place where there's war still going on.
Some lawmakers also called for a deliberate strategy to generate adequate funds for the reconstruction of social infrastructure destroyed by the insurgents.
What is fundamental, and the only way we can fix this problem, is to talk about money. If we all support what needs to be done in the Northeast, why are we not talking about reducing recurrent expenditure so we can fund what needs to be done in the Northeast?
While rounding up the debate, the Senate President pledged that the Senate would complement the efforts of the President to actualize his campaign promise to guarantee security and welfare of Nigerians.
But the key issue also is that we ourselves have a role to play. And I think we must appreciate that because the issue of appropriation, the issue of funding also lies on our doorstep. And we must also find ways by which we can ensure that some of these issues are well funded.
The Senate consequently urged President Buhari to establish a presidential intervention committee on the rehabilitation of a northeast zone. The Senate also resolved that the Senate President should lead a delegation of the upper chamber to visit the internally displaced people's camps in the northeast. Linda Akibe, Channels Television News.